So here we are, AcMaiden with the Wood Elves going up against ODM Saphir with the Empire. This is round 1 and the final of tournament number 9 in HW League Season 8. So time to see who will be crowned the champion of this tournament and who will have to, find solace in second place. So going into the map now, removing that army blocker that I forgot to take off. We're going to see a dead even balance of power and relatively close army counts. So starting with our blue player as always, we are going to see that the infantry will consist of Eternal Guard with shields. Looks like we're going to have 5 of them up in the front. In the back line, we're going to see 5 Dryads, kind of acting as the rear guard for now. We're going to have Blade Guard, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then some mobility, but it doesn't look like a huge amount of it. So 2 Glade Riders with spears. Got a Glade Rider with HANDZ tips up here, ready to fire away. And then we're going to see a Waystalker. Going to have the Eye of Kurnos and the Arrow of Kurnos. And another Waystalker with the same kit on the other flank. Now down here leading this Wood Elf army, we do have Draika, who just feels like disappearing on me because she has a Vanguard, so why not? And she'll be up front with her Dryads, vanguarded on top of the ridge. That is the namesake of this map. And we are going to see that she has her summon, as well as the Penumbral Pendulum, Enfeebling Foe, Melkos Mystifying Miasma, and Smoke and Mirrors for that speed boost whenever she is casting magic. So this brings us to our red player, ODM Saphir with the Empire. His infantry front line will consist of swordsmen, including the ROR Sigmar Sons. Looks like we have 4 of them in total. 2 flagellants for that unbreakable backline. We're going to have spearmen in the back. It looks like we have 2 of them on either flank. And then the rear is going to be all Knights of the Blazing Sun. Very glorious knights with the blazing lances and gold and black armor. Now, other than that, we're going to see the Silver Bullets, some Huntsmen. It looks like we have 3 units of Huntsmen. And then for the leadership, we have a Bright Wizard. Going to have Burning Head and Flaming Sword of Ruin. And then a Huntsman General, naked. So just going for, cost efficiency in a big army to take on these Wood Elves. So time to see what happens from here. Looks like the Silver Bullets are pushing forward, and that's going to open them up to a lot of fire from Glade Guard and the Glade Riders with HANDZ tips. But Huntsman coming forward now to kind of provide some counter fire and start poking at the Dryads. Dryads do not have the best armor at 60, so they will take some damage. I actually remember them having lower armor than 60, so I'm surprised that it's that high. I suppose they are made of wood, so better have some decent armor. Over here, going to be seeing swordsmen kind of push out towards the Waystalker. Waystalkers have the speed to avoid them, but if they do get stuck in combat, funnily enough, swordsmen will definitely kill them. They are not tanky foot heroes or skirmishers. Over here, we're going to be seeing, Burning Head going down, and it's going to be going right through some Dryads, doing a ton of damage, and it's going to be doing some friendly fire, perhaps, here. Yeah, look at this. Look at the flagellants just disappear. Going to clip the Eternal Guard too, definitely doing damage to both sides, but that Burning Head, now it's going to go through the flagellants. Oh my god! That might be... And it's due to no fault of the player, because keep in mind, Burning Heads always have at least some variation of randomness to what their path is. That might have been one of the worst friendly fire Burning Heads I've ever seen in the history of multiplayer. That was devastating, just completely backfiring and eliminating most of the Empire's front line. After, granted, destroying 1 unit of Dryads. Over here, going to see Knights of the Blazing Sun, though, not letting that get them off balance. They're going to be smashing through some Glade Riders. Knights of the Blazing Sun here, if they're microed well, 4 of them. That's going to be crazy powerful. Over here, you can see already eliminated the other unit of Glade Riders with Spears. So both Glade Riders with Spears are pretty much dead to rights. And the Knights of the Blazing Sun are doing okay. And now they're in the back lines eliminating Glade Guard. And you got to keep in mind, they have fire damage. Now, Dryads have a weakness to fire. Why? Well, because they're made of wood, as I mentioned earlier, so 25% weakness to the fire damage that the Knights of the Blazing Sun will do against them. And the Knights of the Blazing Sun have a crazy charge bonus, 78. So 78 on top of their melee defense and weapon strength stats, if I'm not mistaken, whenever they're charging in. And it is devastating. Somebody in the chat correct me wrong if I misspoke and got some of the mechanics wrong there. But yeah, fire damage and a crazy charge bonus is going to be bad news bears for all of this Wood Elf infantry. Burning Head, once again, not getting down on top of the intended target, but this time at least going off into no man's land rather than murdering all of those poor Empire soldiers. Over here, Arrow Kurnos coming in. And there goes the other one. The Bright Wizard is still alive. Oh my goodness. Poor Arrows of Kurnos. Just, Wood Elf's having a rough go there, but one more shot and, you know, maybe two. And I think this Bright Wizard will be gone for good. So, still a pretty close fight. Wood Elves still have the edge in the balance of power, as you can see. Knights of the Blazing Sun, and, oh, looks like I missed that there was some Empire Knights here. A lot of them have taken a ton of damage. So, we'll see what happens, but it does look to me like, you know, they're getting something going here at least. And Beetling Foe cast down on top of the Empire Knights to try to debuff them, but with the charge bonus, I think that's going to pretty much counteract it. And those Blade Guard are going to go down quite quickly. And I'd like to see the Huntsman now just focus in here on top of, you know, well, the Eternal Guards do have the shield, so you got to be careful there, but just, yeah, I'd probably be shooting the infantry with them, just leaving the Knights of the Blazing Sun to eliminate all of the ranged power. Huntsman General in melee combat with Dryads. Over here, Burning Head. Oh no! Penumbral Pendulum coming down. That one is next to impossible to dodge. Luckily for the Huntsman, they do have a relatively loose formation. If they're in a nice, tightly packed, disciplined formation like Swordsman or something, it can just, like, delete them entirely. As you can tell from this horribly burnt, scorched earth, Penumbral Pendulum is nothing you want to be in the path of. Balance of power continuing to stay in favor of our blue player with the Wood Elves, and ODM Saphir trying to, you know, pick up gains where he can so he can, you know, get this battle back closer to the even mark.
Drive them back! Do not forgive!
Zaplasky. Hey, Zaplasky, good to see you, man. Yeah, that was a crazy Burning Head.
Fight, men! Fight for our right to live!
Alright, so Knights of the Blazing Sun coming in for a charge. Eternal Guard are coming in. They're not braced, so that's going to be working in their favor. But Malakos Mystifying Miasma going down on top of them, dragging their health down further and further. And, but another charge coming from the Knights of the Blazing Sun from the other side. And, man, I'm really loving the cav play here. And the Empire needs every last bit of it. He cannot let his micro waver at all if he wants to stand any chance of pulling this into his favor, in my opinion, because it's kind of getting to a point where, you know, if the Knights of Blazing Sun are gone, the writing's on the wall. But, oh my god, strategic reserves. They routed off the Glade Riders with spears, and now, full health, Knights of the Blazing Sun are coming to the rescue, chat. Will it be enough to turn the tide? Balance of power is starting to creep further in favor of the Wood Elves.
All ranks take retreat!
Empire, I think, would be in a much better spot without that traitorous Bright Wizard deciding to murder all of his own troops. Knights of Blazing Sun almost getting on top of the Glade Riders with HANDZ tips, but They're going to be able to narrowly escape. Some nice micro on display from both players there. Very nice escape from AcMaiden. And yeah, anybody's game. But here come Knights of the Blazing Sun. Just barreling straight into Eternal Guard and allowing a rear charge to come off from the other more tattered unit of Knights of the Blazing Sun. And holy hell, some really good micro on display here. You know, anytime he goes in for a charge, he makes sure he is following it up with another charge while that unit is out of place. And he's just doing a good job of, you know, charging in when the anti-large infantry is not facing him, when it's not braced. You know, right there, case in point, he hit these guys on the opposite flank that cav went in on and just caught them on their heels, knocking it back significantly. So he can't afford to charge in when those Eternal Guard are braced and in position. It negates their charge bonus, and you know, every time they charge in, they are taking a bit of damage, especially if those units are prepared for it. So the only way the Empire's going to win this is if they have next to perfect micro. Over here we see the Huntsman General apparently having better fire discipline than his Wood Elf counterparts, because he still has ammunition. I'd have to check to see if the Waystalkers have less or not. But right now, Huntsman General still has 8 shots left. And if they're all well placed, it could be enough to kill Draika. And Knights of the Blazing Sun are on top of her right now. And looks like the Wood Elves are having a hard time, you know, catching up. But over here, oh no! The Glade Riders with HWL-8 tips have finally been caught, it seems, trying to take out some Spearmen. The Knights of the Blazing Sun have used the opportunity to get on top. They have successfully shattered those Spearmen, but now it looks like they're going to be shattered in turn, as some other units of Knights of the Blazing Sun just come in here. And I mean, this is just a slugfest. Both players, it's dead even now, trading units, diving in, getting as much damage as they can where they can. And here comes the cavalry, quite literally, going in for a beautiful charge into a bunch of unbraced Wood Elves. But oh no, they're actually going to pull out, second guess it, and actually not a bad decision. They were about to turn with a big counter charge, and it looks like he's waiting for the rest of the units to get in place. And Empire Knights going in first. I love that because they're cheaper, less valuable than the Knights of the Blazing Sun, so just buying time to get the Huntsman General out of there. You have Huntsman coming in from the rear now to try and pin units in place. The Wood Elves have 2 choices: turn around and attack them, or just keep running forward. And looks like Knights of the Blazing Sun finally going in for a charge, but an awkward charge at that. But over here it comes. Healthy Knights of the Blazing Sun diving in, smashing into all of these Wood Elf forces, but taking a ton of damage in the process. Balance of power going back to the Wood Elves, this time even more convincingly than before. Knights of the Blazing Sun need to peel off and get over here on top of these Dryads, but will they be able to do it in time before the rest of the Eternal Guard get here? They gotta save the Huntsman General. Looks like the Knights of the Blazing Sun getting a nice charge into the rear of these Dryads, but I'm just not sure if it's going to be enough. Over here, big charge from the Knights of the Blazing Sun, freeing up the Huntsman General. Alright, here comes another charge. Knights of the Blazing Sun coming in from the rear. Looks like it's going to be unopposed. Ooh. But will it be enough? I think they're going to come up wanting, and it's going to be a very close victory for AcMaiden in round 1 here of this best of 5 final. Elves can fly. Seeing it here, folks. Oh my god. Is he gonna pull this back? Is the Empire under ODM Saphir gonna pull this back? They are really getting a crazy amount of model disruption with these charges. You can see we have Dryads and Eternal Guard routing. One of the Eternal Guards still looking very healthy, though Huntsman General, for some reason, getting back into that combat, and it looks like there goes a Shatter, and it's going to be a GG, but not before Dryka lays dead on the ground. Yeah, Dracobus are nuts. Yeah, I honestly, shame on you, Wizard. I wish it showed like negative damage for friendly fire. CA, listen to me. Give me everything I want. Give me... No, sorry, but seriously, that'd be awesome, because I would love to see, like, you pull this guy up and it's like, negative 2,000. Negative 2,000. Friendly models killed, 200. Because, yeah, that burning head, it wreaked so much havoc just on the wrong side. And that was... I'm making weird noises because it was disturbing. I'm going to rename that replay too. No, burning head, no. There we go. That seems like a good title for that one. That burning head RNG, yeah, the direction was not the direction he wanted it to be. His Knights of the Blazing Sun, total rock stars, clearly the only things holding that together. Empire Knights too. Really holding it together there, but that burning head, I don't want to overplay it, but I'm gonna have to watch the replay soon, because it looked like it murdered most of the Empire frontline infantry, and that really hurts when you're going up against that many Dryads and that many Eternal Guard. You really need the Empire infantry, which trades quite well against a lot of this Wood Elf infantry, in spite of the fact that they're cheaper. Like Swordsmen will lose to Dryads, but they still put up a good fight. So, yeah, that was just really unfortunate burning head. That Bright Wizard, I think, it was clearly a double agent. Clearly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Going to throw up that intro card and get into round 2. So here we are, AcMaiden up 1-0. He's bringing the Greenskins versus ODM Saphir and the Greenskins. So, got a second mirror match of the stream and round 2 between these two players. Alright, so starting with our red player, as it is round 2, let's go over the infantry. We're going to have Savage Orc Biggins. 1, 2. Damn it. Always disappear on me. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to also have goblins. Looks like 3 of them. We have the 8-peak loonies in the center. They are unbreakable and a staple of pretty much every greenskin army. Got the rusty arrows with their armor sundering. And then we're going to have 3 Forest Goblin Spider Riders. And have 4 Forest Goblin Spider Rider archers and 2 Goblin Wolf Rider archers. And we're going to be taking a look back here at the Lord and Terror unit, Goblin Great Shaman on top of the Blood Rack Spider Shrine. And I love this guy, and he's going to be bringing with him Don't Even Try It, along with Crown of Command, Arcane Conduit, Gorgle Fix-It, Itchy Nuisance, and Vindictive Glare. Now, going over to our blue player, AcMaiden. For his infantry, we are going to be seeing some Gobos. Looks like we have 2 of them, 8-peak loonies in the center. We're going to have Orc Boys, 1, 2, 3. Is it just 3? Yeah, just 3 of them. Got Forest Goblin Spider Riders. We got 2, 3. We have the Death Creepers, 3 Forest Goblin Spider Riders on that flank, 1 on this flank with some Wolf Rider Archers. We have 3 Stone Trolls, just kidding, 2 Stone Trolls, and the Swamp Things. Grom the Punch with his usual kit. And where's the magic at? Where's the magic at? Aha! We got a Night Goblin Shaman over here. What if he's nervous that there's a Goblin Great Shaman on the field? He's got Goracle Fix-It, Itchy Nuisance, and Vindictive Glare, so the same spells as his counterpart. Over here, Forest Goblin Spider Riders pushing out, looking to perhaps find an opportunity to catch some of these units if they're being careless in the micro. It looks like they may be able to. It looks like Poison going to be going down on top of them. They're both Poison, though, so keep that in mind. But Forest Goblin Spider Riders do have better melee stats, so if they stay on top of them, they will win. But look at this. A nice hit from the rear, and looks like both players are going to be sinking in more and more units. But it looks like our red player here, ODM Saphir, may be coming out on top because he's pushing his Terror unit up here. And we'll see what happens from here. Over here, Goracle Fix-It going down, slowing these guys down, making it harder for them to escape with that minus 48% speed. And over here, we're going to be seeing Itchy Nuisance going down on top of all these Savage Orc Biggins and the Goblin Great Shaman. So really hampering their ability to do melee combat. Over here, the Stone Trolls and the Swamp Things are now pushing in with a vengeance. But some good concave fire being provided by our red players, skirmishers in the back line, but it does look like this melee engagement may go Blue's way unless things start changing quick. Over here, leadership actually starting to stabilize, though, on both sides, so it looks like we're in here for the long haul. And this is going to be the decisive engagement of the game, I would say. Over here on the peripheries, it looks like ODM Saphir coming out on top. He didn't finish this unit off, so we'll see if that comes back to haunt him. But right now, looking like Saphir is actually getting a pretty good surround here, as long as his infantry can just hold on a little bit longer. But oh man, some friendly fire from the loons there going down. We have Forest Goblin Spider Riders hitting these guys in the rear, and it may be the thing to turn it around. Over here, though, the Goblin Great Shaman is running away from the main engagement, and Terror's going to kick in for a ton of ODM Saphir's units now, and that is a huge break. And we will see if AcMaiden can, ride that momentum a bit. Over here, going to be seeing a wall going down, and the Forest Goblin Spider Riders of Saphir pulling out and taking after the Death Creepers. And respectful distance here kept by these other mobile skirmishers here. Savage Orc Biggins just charging into combat against those trolls. That's actually what they're made for, so they're doing pretty well so far. Orc Boys coming in to support, though. But the missile fire continues. It's very well focused. The prioritization here from Saphir is on point. And you can see he's starting to drag these trolls down. Savage Orc Biggins still holding up well. They're losing combat, but I mean, they're holding down 2 trolls, a unit of infantry. They got Garam in there too, for heaven's sake. So he is just, these guys are absolute heroes right now, just holding all these people in place and letting the skirmish cav fill them with arrows. Balance of power really starting to shift in favor of ODM Saphir right now. And time for AcMaiden to be on his heels, and we'll see if he can pull it back again like he did last game. Nice chase off the map from the Wolf Rider Archers. Coming back to the main engagements, we're going to see that the Stone Trolls are still routing right now. And balance of power is creeping further and further in favor of Saphir. Trying to look across the battlefield, because without trolls, I'm struggling to see what deals with the Goblin Great Shaman. Grom's cool and all that, don't get me wrong, but Goblin Great Shaman on top of the shrine, yeah, bonus just large, armor piercing, poison damage. Like, Grom's not going to have a good time against this guy in melee combat. And also has Vindictive Glare, so can keep on punishing Grom if he tries to run away with it. And right now it looks like AcMaiden is going to be losing access to his Vindictive Glare potentially, because that Night Goblin Shaman is routing. It looks like AcMaiden going to see the writing on the wall, and Saphir is going to take round 2 and tie it up. Alright, so Grom doing okay for himself, not paying for himself, but doing what he does, staying alive until the bitter end and dying. if he loses. But anyways, Trolls got pretty wrecked that game. Swamp Things especially, they're expensive ROR. They do cause terror, and I like that he brought some terror in the army. And I also love the Swamp Thing, so happy to see him. But overall there, you know, it just looks like the infantry engagement was going to go to Saphir from the beginning. Savage Orc Biggins, you're pretty much the perfect answer against Trolls and Orc Boys and Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Like, Savage Orc Biggins in a mirror match for Greenskins are definitely what I bring. So I think Saphir had a nice pick with that. And I think going cheaper and, you know, wider with the Skirmish Cav helped him a lot there, because, you know, we see here he had all 6 of them. Over here he had 5 Skirmish Cav, but then he also had 3 Forest Goblin Spider Riders versus 3. I mean, guys, all things together considered, they're actually pretty evenly matched in terms of skirmish capability, so maybe I take back what I was going to say there. But because then that indicates not that he went wider necessarily than AcMaiden. He did have 1 more skirmish cav unit than AcMaiden did technically, but I think he just managed them better. The zoning and the spacing for the Forest Goblin Spider Riders were super well executed there. And I guess I should say the spacing, because he was just keeping a nice safe distance, pouring in missile power the entire time into those very key engagements. And he was able to get the surrounds there too. And that's, you know, really what I think turned the scale in favor of the Savage Orc Biggins, who, you know, across the board pretty much, you know, performed to cost, with the exception of this one, who I think was the first into the fray, the first to get sent through the meat grinder. And these guys definitely didn't do a ton of damage value, but 112 kills is still good. So, great game. I love the Goblin Great Shaman pick. I actually think he's, in the mirror match, a very strong pick, because lords like Grom and stuff, a very common lord you'll see, definitely struggle against him. You know, he has magic missiles to poke you from afar. He has a debuff to speed. He has debuff to weapon strength and damage. And, you know, he also has Don't Even Try It, which is another direct damage ability he can pop down on top of you. So, yeah, really like the pick here. And GG. Let's see what happens in round 3. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Time for round 3 of this final best of 5. It is AcMaiden with the Empire versus ODM Saphir with the Bretonnians. As I mentioned, it's round 3, and they are currently tied 1-1. So, time to see where it goes from here. Now, round 3, we're going to go ahead and start with our blue player. So, as usual with the infantry first, we're going to see an abundance of it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 spearmen. It looks like they will have shields. We're going to have some swordsmen. Looks like 2 of them, and actually a 5th spearman with shields. We're going to have 4 halberdiers. These guys have expert charge defense and our armor piercing bonus versus large, so we'll see how they do. We're going to have the huntsmen here, 4 of them with stock bonus versus large ammunition. The Royal Altdorf Griffites, a very deadly force, but small in number, so you got to be careful that they don't get surrounded by questing knights, as we did see once tragically in a Warhammer World Championship tournament. And then for the leadership, looks like we're going to be seeing a Bright Wizard, going to have Fireball Burning Head, Power Stone, and what is this? A Blast. We're also going to be seeing Volkmar the Grim up on top of his wagon, Grand Shield of Faith, Grand Hammer of Sigmar, Banishment, and the Jade Griffin. Over here, we're going to be seeing the Bretonnians brought by ODM Saphir. He is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 peasant mob up in the front. We're going to have some spearmen at arms. Got 3 trebuchets, 1 on each wing and 1 dead center. We're going to have peasant bowmen with pox arrows. Looks like 2 of them will have pox arrows and 2 will just be the regular variant. And then we got questing knights, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All the regular variant. And then for the hero squad, we have the double paladin with the Fey Enchantress, as we see so often. 1 paladin with guardian, the other without. And then we're going to be seeing the Fey Enchantress with her usual kit, including Chalice of Potions. And we're also going to see Dwellers Below, so keep an eye out for that, see if we catch any sexy Dwellers Below action. Now, my prediction here is I think the Empire's going to have a hard time. We will see if AcMaiden can pull it off. I've seen the Empire do it before, but I just feel like 4 questing knights, that's going to be tough for the Bretonnian, or for the Empire to ward off with a single outdoor fight. The Halberdiers will definitely help, but as we've seen so many times before, you know, numbers matter. And the 3 trebuchets are actually, surprisingly and unfortunately, expert demogryph killers. So I think seeing those 3 trebuchets, if they all target the demogryph knights, we're going to see them melt out of existence quite quickly. So there goes the peasant bowman firing away. Another trebuchet round killing off 2 more demogryph knights. Dwellers below going down on top of 2 of the huntsmen, doing some serious damage there. Burning head going down from the Bright Wizard, though, burning through. Oh, 2 peasant bowmen really taking it on the chin. One of them shattering, actually. So the Empire actually picking up some really good value there. Looks like 3 of the peasant bowmen have actually been dealt with right now, which is incredible. But the questing knights are still very healthy and are just plowing through the front line. Looks like they're going to be pushing back, though, as the halberds start coming in from the back line with the demogryph knights. 2 huntsmen are routing right now. There goes an Earthblood on top of these Bretonnian knights and heroes. Bretonnian infantry obviously not really here to win any engagements, but they're definitely really you know, tying down the front line for a while. But my concern here is the Empire may kill off all the Bretonnian infantry before the Bretonnian cavalry can get any decisive wins in the back lines, and if that happens, then the Empire's going to win, just because they have full health Volkmar, and they have a ton of halberds that you can just camp out on. So Chalice of Potions, the first one going down there, and clearly that will be a nice tool for the Fey Enchantress to use as a threat. Also, her Mortis engine effect, the Mystical Lady, going to be very powerful too, so we'll see if she ends up using that. But right now, if both of the Paladins can get on top of Volkmar the Grim, then the Bretonnians are going to be in a really strong spot. But oh my god, Dwellers below on top of this blob. 3 Halberdiers are caught on top of it. They're getting greedy, trying to kill off the Paladin completely. And we actually see another unit of Halberds diving in here, but Dwellers below is going to wear off in the nick of time. And that Paladin may suffer the ultimate price, but Fey Enchantress definitely not letting his sacrifice be in vain. Over here, the other noble and a unit of questing knights are on top of Volkmar, and his health is sinking pretty quickly. Looks like the questing knights are going to try to get in front of him and block him, which they need to do. No option there. So we will see if they turn around and try to pin him in place. But actually, he's turning around in combat now, and unfortunately, the Bretonnian Spearman at Arms just broke, and now Volkmar is about to have a ton of infantry support on top of him. But the noble and the questing knights still getting a lot of damage done. Another burning head going through, doing a lot of damage to those peasant bowmen. I would have liked to have seen him save it, and honestly, just like through here, he's got to get rid of halberds and spearmen right now, because the Empire has a ton of them. Look at this, full health spearmen, very healthy spearmen over here. Bretonnians still in it, though. They still have the balance of power in their favor, and the Empire starting to suffer here. But Volkmar the Grim still going to continue regenerating, and we'll see if he can pull it off from here. You also have the Bright Wizard, plenty of burning heads left, possibly in his pocket. I'd imagine 2 at the very least. Ooh, trebuchets from the Bretonnians are just going to be smashing the Empire. You have all 3 of them, well, 2 of them online currently, and the other one looks like it may be, could be microed back on top of its artillery pieces to wreak havoc on top of the Empire lines. So balance of power really starting to move decisively in favor of the Bretonnians right now. But oh man, that fireball just smashed into the Paladin. He took so much damage, down to 217 HP. Trebuchets just continuing to expend their ammunition. Sergeant Bowman forming up too, and I think at this point the writing's going to be on the wall. I think AcMaiden is probably close to conceding here. But then again, Volkmar the Grim is just regenerating right now. He's unbreakable. He's tough. I just feel like there's too many trebuchets alive right now. It's going to really suck. Oh, these other trebuchets were destroyed, I imagine, by fireballs or something, so that's why the other crew is just kind of running around right now. I would honestly just send them back. So when one of them runs out of ammunition, you can have this crew fire away, because the trebuchet ammunition is carried by the crew, not the artillery models. Alright, looks like Bretonnians may be going in for some charges. Grand Shield of Faith has gone down. Nicely timed Earthblood going down, and now the Paladin and the two Questing Knights are diving in on top of Volkmar the Grim. However, the Trebuchet crew is just going to buy only so much time, but oh man, that Chalice of Potion is actually doing some good work. Banishment going down, chasing off the Questing Knights, a Burning Head going down. Oh my goodness, the magic across this battle is insane. Oh no, they're going right back into the Banishment now. Oh, the Questing Knights just charged into the Banishment. Took so much damage. But really, the question is, will it matter in the end? The Bretonnians still just looking really strong. You have the Fey Enchantress here, still alive, doing that Mortis-like effect. More Questing Knights now diving into the rear, hitting these Empire forces, and Volkmar's out of banishments. Yes. Manually firing artillery is allowed in PvP because although you can fire very accurately that way, you are sacrificing a lot of micro, because you are literally giving up control of your entire army to go into manually fire a cannon or a mortar or whatever it is you fire. So the trade-off is pretty balanced, I think, is why the decision was made. Volkmar, Bright Wizard, both doing well, but unfortunately, you know, there's some good momentum initially there, but the Trebuchet is getting back online. The Questing Knights just really not having too much to compete with. And honestly, the Fae getting some really good damage with those Dwellers below. I like to see that. One of the Paladins doing very well for himself. So right now we're going to be seeing ODM Saphir coming up 2-0, just 1-2 in a row to take the lead. So we'll see what happens here in round 4. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. AcMaiden with the High Elves versus ODM Saphir with the Lizardmen. This is round 4 in their best of 5 final. ODM Saphir leads 2-1 and is on his match point. So loading into the map now, let's take a look at the players' armies, starting with our red player, ODM Saphir. So, excuse me. Frontline will consist of Saurus Warriors with shields. Looks like we're going to have 3 of them, as you can see. We are then going to be looking at Skink Cohort, making up the middle line. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 of them. The 2 in the center will have javelins. Back here, we do have Cold One Riders, kind of acting as the basically the mass and the mobility for the back line. We're going to have Pox Sentinels and a regular unit of Pterodon Riders as well. Now, rounding out this army, we are going to have a leadership and monster squad consisting of the Thunderous One, Ancient Stegodon, as well as Mazda Mundi and Slack. Mazda Mundi will be bringing Ruination of Cities, Banishment, Shield of the Old Ones, Apotheosis, Harmonic Convergence, Net of a Mintok, along with Cold Blooded, and the Sunburst Standard of Hexwaddle with Greater Arcane Conduit. So that is going to round out the Lizardman army, and it's time to take a look at the High Elves, and it looks like we're going to have the same army that we saw last time, guys. So 4 white lines of trace up front. We have 3 Dragon Princes with a Noble just on top of his horse, his barded Ithalmar steed. We have 3 Eagle Claw bolt throwers for that range pressure, and then we have Alarielle the Radiant up on top of her Eagle with her usual kit. The Tempest will be especially nice here because that will allow her to pretty much no issue eliminate the Pahawk Sentinels and the Pterodon Riders, which will significantly, you know, hamstring the skirmishing capabilities of the Lizardmen here. Right now, some expert dodging from Slack and the Thunderous One, as the Eagle Claw bolt throwers desperately try to connect some shots on top of them. They are very big targets, though, so, you know, chances are they're going to still take a couple bolts to the face at least. Hey, Bloxy Cats, welcome to the stream. Let us know if you have any questions, and hope you have a good time. Over here, Alarielle looking like she's coming to snipe some Pterodons out of the sky. Tempest getting cast down on top of them, and here it is. Boom. Going to be doing some nice damage, slowing him down significantly. Not directly thrown down on top of them, so it looks like it's maybe doing a little less damage than it typically would, but still going to knock off at least a third of their health, which is nothing to shake a stick at. Did I get raided by somebody and I missed it? I guess so, but thank you so much for following or tuning in, everybody. I'm on a restream and I'm technically inept and haven't figured out how to get my notifications working on this yet, so whoever raided me, thank you so much, and I hope you are... yeah, thank you so much for doing it. Appreciate it. Hope you guys who are joining in have a good time. Look at that! Ruination of Cities coming through. Doing some nice damage against these Dragon Princes. Thunderous One and Mazdamundi are now diving into combat. We have the White Lines of Trace coming out to engage the Skinks and the Saurus Warriors, but there goes the Star of Averlorn, and got the White Lines of Trace in there along with the Noble, so going to be helping them out a lot in this combat, but there goes Apotheosis on top of the Thunderous One. Mazdamundi trying to keep him as healthy as possible. Thunderous One coming in for a piece of that action against the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. Gonna launch some of its crew back a few meters and then terror route the rest of them. Alright, there goes the other Tempest on top of the same unit of Pterodon Riders. Looks like it may be enough to finish them off. Over here, Dragon Prince is abandoning the charge into Mazdamundi and the Thunderous One, instead countercharging these Cold One Knights. Or sorry, not Cold One Knights, these Cold One Riders, but opening themselves up in turn for a big rear charge from the Stegodons. However, Phos protection going down, increasing their armor and melee defense. 66 melee defense, 140 armor. Going to be really difficult for the Lizardmen to get through that. But there goes the net of a Mintok, and now we have the Stegodons on top of the Dragon Princes, and this could be the moment where the Dragon Princes really start suffering a lot, and the balance of power almost dead even now, but it looks like the Lizardmen may start pulling ahead soon here. Alright, Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers in the back line are still online. Alarielle the Radiant is fighting the Pahawk Sentinels, who are now trying to pull out of that engagement. Got some terror routes on top of White Lines of Trace. Noble is still doing very well. Phos protection is going down on top of him. 84 melee defense, 130 armor, so really going to shore up his combat abilities. And now the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers, miraculously, 2 of them still online right now. Ruination of Cities cast right here, though. Is it going to be enough? Ooh, yee! Dragon Prince has taken some significant damage from that Ruination of Cities, and looks like we're down to 1 Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower now for the High Elves, but will it be enough? Right now we see that the Thunderous One is just below half health, but still over 4,000 HP because that's such a big HP pool. But the Dragon Princes, still very high on model counts. We will see if they can get some good damage done. But look at this, a banishment going down. But some nice micro here from our High Elf player. Just splitting around that banishment, not falling into the trap. However, his White Lines of Trace may not be so lucky as the Dragon Princes, and it does look like they're going to take some damage and start routing off. Right now, balance power back to dead even. High Elves were ahead there for a minute. Pterodon Riders attacking the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower crew and winning that combat quite handedly. Star of Avalorn going down, trying to hit the Dragon Princes, some White Lines of Trace. Unfortunately, the Noble is not reaping the benefits of it right now. There he is. Now he got pushed into it by Slock and Mazdamundi, and he should, yeah, he got close to full health from that. Balance of power back in favor of the High Elves now. Coming over here, Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is routing. Pterodon Riders hanging on by a thread with their health. Balance of power back to even now. It just keeps going back and forth, guys. This is a crazy close match. Saphir really pushing hard with his Lizardman right now, but AcMaiden just fighting to stay alive. His High Elves doing some big things here, but I don't know. Slock and the Thunderous One still are about half health, and just them being at half health is a really daunting prospect for the High Elves here, especially now that the Noble is terror routing. If Mazdamundi has enough for one more net of a Mintok on top of him, they could eliminate the Noble, and I think without the Noble, the High Elf's chances diminish significantly. Oh, but there it comes. Balance of power. Just keep on watching. It keeps jumping and bouncing back and forth. And over here, got Dragon Princes with White Lines of Trace, eliminating some Sora Spears. No doubt these Sora Spears are going to get killed off completely by those units. And I just feel like the High Elves have some opportunities just to regroup, whereas the Lizardmen are pretty much down to just 2 single entities at this point. Really nice play, though, shutting down the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers for good, as well as some extra White Lines of Trace. And it looks like, oh, the Bahak Sentinels routing the Noble. Holy hell, some excellent play. Great unit prioritization from both players' parts here, with the Lizardmen really playing... they mean business. They're not playing around. Over here, looks like the Dragon Prince is coming in with a threatening posture, just kind of saying, hey, watch yourself. Over here, Tempest, though, coming down from Alariel the Radiant, and goodbye, Bahak Sentinels. The last of them is dead, and the other Pterodon Rider is narrowly avoiding the same fate. Earthblood going down, but Shield of the Old One's going down in return, increasing that 22% ward save, plus 8 leadership. But will it be enough? It looks like the surround may be real, but there it is, Terror kicking on top of one of the Dragon Princes. There goes the other Dragon Prince. The Terror is real. There goes the Noble. Noble taking a huge hit. Balance of power going back to the Lizardmen. What can you do against such reckless dinosaurs? Ariel getting up in the air just in the nick of time. Thunderous One charging in. There she goes again. Balance of power is dead even, chat. Mazdamundi and the Thunderous One are not facing the right direction. Ariel is just really taking it to the Thunderous One right now. Ooh! Are you kidding me? Did an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower just come back online? Yes, it did. Both of them did! The High Elf Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower crews are back online, ladies and gentlemen. Are you kidding me? This is insanity! Oh my god! Are the Eagle Claw Bolt Throwers gonna win it for the Lizard, or for the High Elves? Oh my goodness gracious, chat. Oh, here comes the Thunderous One. He's not messing around. Terror kicking in basically immediately. The Thunderous One now going for the second Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower. Will it be able to hang on with Alariel nearby? No, the Terror going to kick it immediately, but Alariel may be in a position. There she is. She's routing the Thunderous One. She can kill it off here. It's isolated. Only 360 HP, and look at that. Alariel just trying her best to single-handedly lead the High Elves to victory here. There goes Mazdamundi, turning his attention to the White Lines of Trace, just throwing so many of them back in just an epic charge with Slock, the Stegodon. Shield of the Old Ones going down, giving them that big ward save. But will it be enough? The Thunderous One is coming back. His health is back. His leadership has just come back. Mazda Mundi, his leadership isn't looking the best. But there goes another tear route, and in comes the Thunderous One. Oh, hitting Ilariel. She's trying her best to run away. But now she's at a point where she'll need to stay in combat. I'm taking a look around. It looks like she dove back into combat because she is an honorable queen of the elves. And this might be the end. Oh my god. What a excellent game to both of these players. And just a great best of 5. Hats off to both of them. Yeah, that was a beautiful game. Both of those guys just playing their hearts out. That was so close. When he got those 2 Eagle Claw bolt throwers online at the last second, I was elated. I love when that happens because, like, just watching this melee combat and then out of nowhere you see a big old bolt getting thrown into a dinosaur and you're like, he regrouped his artillery. They're back online. Like that, yeah. Great final fight. I mean, I wouldn't be mad with another round either, but hey, that was an excellent finale, no matter how you look at it. And Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is almost pulling it back there for the win. And yeah, just great games to AcMaiden, great games to ODM Saphir. Hope you guys enjoyed today. Mazda Mundi and the Thunderous One killing about, oh my god, what is that? Let's just say 4,000, 5,000, like 9,000 value. So they pretty much just killed the entire army by themselves. They had some help. But these two dinosaurs just murdered everything absolutely viciously. But an excellent finale. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to ODM Saphir, and congrats to him for being the 9th champion of the HW League Season 8. So auto-qualifying for a spot in the playoffs, which will be announced in the near future, but probably going to be closer to about a month and a half away, so they're not coming up immediately, but keep you guys posted. But big congrats to Saphir, a huge shout out to AcMaiden and to the other players who made it to the semifinals, and AcMaiden who, you know, got 2nd place here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, a pleasure to have you, and thank you to all the players for participating. Huge thank you to my admins, Iron Thunder, Romulan Dog, anybody else in the scene who helps out. I really appreciate you. And once again, my apologies for being a little less active lately. I'm going to try to keep the YouTube videos coming regularly, so you guys have at least that when I'm not streaming as much, since I'll be out on my family vacation and doing some camping trips too. Just I got to recharge the battery, get away from streaming for a little bit. But yeah, stay tuned on YouTube for more content to keep you busy while I'm away. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. My son HW, going to be signing out from here, and I will see you on the battlefield. Bye, guys.